Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. Arby's, not to really anyone's surprise, I don't think at this point, has once again brought back one of their most successful releases in a while, I would say. And they keep bringing it back because it hasn't worn out its welcome yet, unlike, let's say, the nacho fries from Taco Bell, where they bring the thing back every other month pretty much at this point. I think we're starting to get to that point, but still, there's that appeal, there's that demand, there's still that degree of interest. Starting back in 2022, Arby's premiered their Wagyu Burgers. And it took a lot of people by surprise. They thought burgers from Arby's? And then, lo and behold, the burgers themselves actually wound up being pretty decent. So every year subsequently, they've been bringing them back, and they've been making various tweaks and amendments to the release, and I've still been getting plenty of requests for it. Some people are wondering, of course, is Arby's maintaining the standards? Maybe the burger was really good the first couple times, but now how is it at this point? And they have, once again, as I said, made a few tweaks. So today, I'm going to be trying out the Big Cheesy Bacon Burger from Arby's. And here's what's on it. Bacon, American cheese, Swiss cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, burger sauce, and you have to say it like that, otherwise you can't actually get the food. You have to emphasize burger in the burger sauce. In the example that I just butchered, if I were to live up to that thing I just made up on the spot. And aside from that, it's available, well, it's a big burger, and I guess it's got a big price, too. You can get the burger by itself for the price of $10, just for the burger by itself. So, Arby's, I guess they said, well, maybe we want to have a good burger, and we want to have it at Five Guys prices, essentially, because that's what it almost seems like. But the Big Cheesy Bacon Burger from Arby's, yeah, I could see the name, no real surprises there. It's supposed to be big, it's got the variety of cheeses, the American and Swiss cheese, like I said, the bacon, and price though, I have to call it out. I am not a fan of the price. $10 for a fast food burger. That's the one thing. I can't say I like that very much. And I've had mixed experiences, honestly, with some of the burgers from Arby's as well. Many of them that I've had, don't get me wrong, have been very good, but one or two, there's just something about them. And I should emphasize, one thing to just take note of in regards to the burger here, I believe it's what they call it's flash fried, so don't expect it to actually be cooked on a grill or anything. It's essentially just in a bag, and then it's heated up. But a lot of people really couldn't care less about that, and it's just about the finished product. And all things considered, as I mentioned, the quality of the burger itself is still, it varies, but the ones that I've had that were good were really good. And hopefully this will be a similar case to that. Now, despite the price being steep, it has some mass to it at least, so it's not like it's some squashed little thing, so that's good. And even if it's a bit overpriced, if it's a good burger, it's a good burger. And my grievance in that regard will still hold true, but I'll emphasize, look, at least it tastes good. Wow, they went heavy on the burger sauce. I could easily see this is gonna drip everywhere. I know what to do. I'm going to move the plate closer to the camera. Now I can hold it up and I don't have to worry. Wow. That is, they went all out with the burger sauce. So you can see, big tomato there, the cheese layer at the top. In the middle is the beef patty, bacon, tomato, lettuce. I do not have visual on the onion, but I smell it. I see a pickle there at the bottom. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut it in half. This is like the type of burger I think that a cross section would be particularly interesting for. So I'm going to cut it in half right now. Pause the camera while I do that, and that way you'll be able to get a real good look at it. And then after that, try it out and get with the review. So I shall be right back, and then you will see half a burger in about a split second. So stay tuned. And as expected, I did get the burger cut in half. There's a cross section. Now, at the very bottom there, those are some pickles, and there are onions there, like just some raw onions. But now you can see all the layers. There's the beef, cheese, the bun, bacon, and all of that good stuff. So, now the moment of truth has arrived. It's big, it's cheesy, it's drenched in burger sauce. And is it any good? Let's find out. The big, cheesy bacon burger from Arby's. It's going in. A lot of people say don't skip the eating segments, which is strange to me because I feel like I just sit here and sort of nibble away at it for 2 minutes in silence, but people wanted to see it, so there it is. And you could see I did indeed nibble away at it. Tried it out. And you know, thankfully, it tastes alright for what it is. It is a messy burger, don't get me wrong, but quite frankly, the messiness of this, and perhaps the initial appearance, because, you could talk all you want about, well, you see a certain item and don't judge a book by its cover, etc. But, a lot of folks, understandably, you can't really help it when, number one, it's a burger from Arby's. Number two, you open it up and you see that it's like this really messy looking thing that's just covered and drenched in this sauce. So you might be a little apprehensive. But again, I am pleased to say that aside from the messy aspect of this, it actually tastes good, all things considered. And I'm sort of breathing a sigh of relief as I say that. Number one, because in general, the quality of so much fast food these days has gone so far downhill that it unfortunately is a relief many a time now when the food is actually edible for once, and when I can eat something without an overt fear of, let's say, getting food poisoning from it, or just having some sort of absolutely disgusting, pitiful excuse for any sort of food, and it's just like you don't want to take another bite of it, etc. But this time around, the quality of it, I'm pleased to say, is decent. It reminds me, because about a year ago I tried out one of the burgers from Arby's, and there was some weird issue with the quality of the beef. And there was something like it just tasted burnt. There was just something weird about it, I remember. This, on the other hand, reminds me of the first one that I tried out. And that's a good thing, because I liked the first one. Most importantly, I think when I mentioned, and this hasn't changed at all, but still, when I mentioned that, all right, it's a burger, but it's not actually being cooked on a grill or anything, and it's flash fried, that will leave people, I think, a little. They'll think, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. You sort of get this imagery, and you think, I don't know how that could really taste all that good. But I'm pleased to say that the quality of this burger is good, and it tastes fine. And as I'm eating it, it's like I really couldn't care less that it's flash fried or anything, because the burger is thick, it's juicy, it's flavorful, and I feel like as far as how it's cooked, it's obviously cooked thoroughly, but it's not overcooked nor undercooked. I think they've got it just at the right, the right temperature, so to speak. They cooked it just right, if you ask me, where it does have that little bit of, it's tender on the inside, but still on the outside. It does have that little sort of, it's not an actual grill, but it's got that sort of characteristic, firmness on the outside. But it's juicy, it's flavorful. And I think, as you could see in the cross-section, there's a good amount. It's a nice, decent, thick patty as well, which I'm pleased with. And the same can be said for the bacon. I could really taste the bacon. It was there in every bite. You could see it. I think it was on the top bun there. There were a few slices of bacon, and I think that they did a good job with that as well. Just the right balance between both the crispiness as well as the fattiness of the bacon. And you could definitely, again, it's very flavorful. It's cheesy too. Now, I tasted the American cheese more than I did the Swiss cheese. I noticed, some of the Swiss cheese as well, but again, the American cheese is most notable here as far as the flavor profile is concerned, but you also get that cheese in every bite. I would really say that this, to me, is what I would think of as a complete bacon cheeseburger. And I think that's what they intended it to be. There's a good amount of meat, a good amount of bacon, it's flavorful, it's cheesy, you could taste it in every bite, and again, I think that's what they were trying to accomplish here. What I'm also pleased by is the freshness, especially of the tomato. The lettuce is what it is, but especially the tomato, the onion, and the pickles as well. I noticed that they were crisp, that they were fresh, that they likewise were flavorful and of decent quality, and they too contributed to the overall quality of this burger. Now, real quick, I'm just going to lift this up, okay? Because I'm looking at the camera and it says my time remaining in the viewfinder there, but this was sort of obstructing it anyway. Barring any of that distraction, everything is decent here. And that leaves me with the burger sauce. Now, this is the one point of contention, perhaps, that I and perhaps others may have. I do think that they sort of overdid it with the burger sauce. Because the burger sauce, it's one of those sauces that it's not the most potent in the world, right? It has this little zesty characteristic to it, and every burger sauce is essentially just like a rip-off Big Mac sauce, essentially. And, it has that little zesty note to it. But really, the main purpose of the burger sauce is that it provides a little bit of moisture. and a little bit of flavor too, but again, it's not all that flavorful. And it has, I think, as you could surely see, a bit of a runny characteristic to it. If your Arby's put as much burger sauce on your burger as they did mine, this will be a messy sandwich. It is going to be messy. It's not going to be something that you could easily sit there and eat in the car. It will be dripping all over the place. I wouldn't count on the wrapper being able to sufficiently contain the utter deluge of the burger sauce that will rain out of the burger. So that's something that you need to be wary of. You just have to take that into account and be mindful of it. You know, if I were to have held this up to the camera without putting this under it, it would have dripped all over the desk. There's no doubt about it. So just bear in mind the burger sauce, that it gives it a little bit of moisture. I could see how that could be appreciated. Again, the zesty characteristic to it is nice. You know, it complements the whole flavor profile. But personally, I think that this could have done with a little bit less of the burger sauce, because all it needs is a little bit, and when they put this much on it, as far as just practicality is concerned, and convenience of being able to eat this goes, this more or less just gets in the way than anything else. But overall, I'm pleased with it. It tastes good, of good quality bacon and ingredients, and the beef patty is fine too. And again, it's a complete bacon cheeseburger. So Arby's has impressed in this case, which is good. I think a lot of people don't really care about Arby's this much, and this seems to be like the only item on their menu now that anyone even really cares about. And it's nice to see them, you know, still maintaining the standards at least. I go into these reviews always hoping for that, and I'm pleased to say that that's the case here. My only other objection, of course, the price. I don't like that it's $10. That's not... I don't like it. I flat out don't like it. And I don't think many of you do either. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone actually glad that this costs $10 just for the burger by itself. So, that's disappointing. But you could say it's $10, but at least it's for a decent-tasting burger. So therefore, out of 10, what am I going to rate the big cheesy bacon burger from Arby's? Out of 10, therefore, I am going to rate, considering that it's decent overall with a few grievances, I'm still going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. It would have been higher if the price were lower, and if there were a little bit less, if it was a little less messy, but everything, you know, the core components, everything factored in, it's decent for what it is, and I'm happy to say that. That's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.